Hey guys, today I'm doing something a little different. Today I'm doing a devlog of a very early, pretty much just an engine with a few features of a game I'm working on sort of thing. And you can probably tell how early it is by the art, which I will be acquiring an artist for, hopefully at some point. And if you are interested for that, by the way, wait till the end of the video and I'll talk about that because... if you're an artist who wants to have some fun with this sort of thing, maybe you'll be interested and you can email me. But I'll get onto that at the end of the video. But anyway, yeah, what is this? Well, it's a game I've been working on totally from scratch, not with an engine. I just like writing code, so... Yeah, and obviously it's a top-down shooter, and in the end, it will be this kind of open-world... this open-world, semi-story-driven game... in which you're on this island, and basically my idea is, this is all fairly loose right now, because this is more story than gameplay, but my idea is you're part of some kind of military organization, and you're some military guy, and you're coming back from some mission, and your plane crashes onto this island, which, oh no, is full of enemies, because what kind of a game would it be if it were full of good guys who are like, yeah, we can get you a new plane. Yeah, just want to get on? Just want to go? You want to be here? Yeah, you good? That'll be not that fun, I don't think. Maybe I'll try that as some DLC. You crash on a good island. But anyway, so yeah, and you've obviously got to communicate with your guys and get home. So I'm thinking radio tower. You got to get from one end of the island to the other end to the radio tower, and you know, God, you're on the wrong end of the island. And there'll be lots of things in the way, like maybe a military base and various buildings and patrols you have to get through. And I like the idea of an open world game in this sort of thing because I want it to be quite player driven, really. I like that idea for a game. And an open world kind of lends itself to that. I'm not sure if an open world lends itself to top down, but that's something I'm exploring, I guess. And I have got that pretty much written into the engine to work quite well with an open world when I get kind of art transitions done. But yeah, so yeah, and it was, I want you to be able to, you know, obviously pick what you do to get to this radio tower, like, oh yeah, there's a weapon store over there, maybe it would be better if I had some better weapons, because maybe something goes wrong at this radio tower, and maybe you have to go and find a MacGuffin or something, a MacGuffin being a general thing that you have to find in a story, like, unobtainium is the general metal thing you have to find, but you can't call something unobtainium, god damn it, Avatar. I think I might be getting sidetracked. But anyway, yeah, maybe there's a weapon store. You're like, oh, I could use some weapons. But then also you've got to raid a weapon store. So the guys are going to have weapons. So, you know, you see the kind of choices you have. Yeah, so on the kind of note of something being player-driven, I'm a big fan of Levolution. I wouldn't call it Levolution because that sounds like kind of a dumb word, but I've actually even got it in my notes as Levolution because I think that's just what we call it now, where you can try to change a level. But I like the idea of being able to make a level work for you. But how do you do that in a top-down game? Well, I was thinking grapple hook. Grapple hook's quite a weird thing, really, because... well, a weird thing for a top-down game, because obviously in a 3D game it works great for moving around and stuff, and in a platformer it's good because you have height to move around, but for this kind of game, I mean, yeah, you can move around with it. Say there's like this big solid block over here, and I go and grapple to that, and I'm in developer mode. I just placed another block. Yeah, so I grappled there, and I can pull myself in. Yeah, it's very simple developer mode for creating the maps. But anyway, yeah, so you can see that I can just drag myself in and stuff. And that's great, but it doesn't really add that much to the game. Yeah, it's a different way to get around, and it can be faster if you're further away. There is an acceleration to this, as you can kind of see. Oh yeah, by the way, the grapple hook is the worst piece of art in this whole game so far. I don't even know what this is, and this line, this rope, is literally just a vectored line. But yeah, but... the best thing, I think, well, my favorite thing usually about, you know, grapple hooks in games, like Just Cause 3 is the one that comes to mind, is you can freaking pull down towers and you can change the level and you can do things to your advantage. So on a simple level, you think, well, moving things around, right? So say there's this crate. I'm not sure if it's obvious that it's a crate, but it's a crate because I'm a terrible artist. I'm kind of proud of this guy, though. He looks somewhat person-like. Anyway, so yeah, you grapple with the crate and it's a light thing, so you can pull it towards you. And it's like, oh great, that's good. But that's giving you some cover. And as a good example, there's a door here, and there's 5 evil guys in there who are currently coded just to shoot and shoot and shoot even when I'm dead. And there's no reset thing, so it'll be very loud, and it'll be very unhappy for me. So, we're just gonna grab this crate. Actually, I might move in here a little more so it goes more towards the door. So yeah, we're gonna grab this crate, and we're gonna move it in front of the door. And now we can walk past when the collisions work, and no one will see us, which is rather nice. So you can do that sort of, that was my simple example of, look, you can sneak with your grapple hook. And then obviously you can slide in and just murder a bunch of dudes without them seeing. But yeah, so that kind of thing is something I like. So maybe it adds to stealth, maybe getting out of situations before people turn around and that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing.
And another thing that could do is maybe you could drag a crate into an enemy and just smash it on him and it'd be ruined. Or maybe just drag a gun out of an enemy's hand or something like that. So it would be combative and defensive. So that this is kind of a bit of a just all-around sort of skill. So you can defend yourself and help yourself sneak or pull yourself cover, or you can attack people.
And also, I like the idea of it making you weirdly powerful. Like, say there's like this big thick black wall, obviously you're gonna just drag yourself into that, but with a thin wall, maybe you can just smash right through this wall. Maybe you grab onto your wall and you pull yourself in and you smash right... Okay. It's a little glitchy right now. But yeah, maybe you can smash right through this wall. Oh, there's a big lag spike. Fucking hell, this is the worst demo ever. Yeah, that's some annoying calculation I need to cut down on, but that's fine. Anyway, so yeah, you kind of get the idea that you could be able to smash. Fucking hell. This is really bad. Okay, what's going on? Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, yeah, so you get the idea that you could smash through this wall, and there's a bit of a slide there already, actually. So you'll like kind of slide through it, and the faster you go, the longer the slide will be. So you can see that you kind of slide right through. Yeah, so that I like that idea because you can kind of just burst into rooms, and say my AI was... Oh my Christ. Yeah, they totally didn't see me through that wall. Very early engine design. Anyway, but say you've got a bunch of guys who don't know that they're in this... Anyway, they're all in there, and say in the final game, they won't just all turn around and shoot you. You can kind of just smash through this wall and surprise them, and just murder a bunch of guys. Yeah, you can see right now it's pretty janky, and I have to have 1,000 health because look, I've already lost half of my 1,000 health. But yeah, you get the idea that they'd be a bit surprised and you can shoot them. And I really like the idea of doing that. That's quite a nice thing, really. And what am I doing? I think that's all I really have to say about the grapple, other than it can aid stealth as well, because you can see there was no guys in this hallway, so maybe you're like, oh, I'll just grapple in here, and then I'll sneak around and bang, bang, bang. But they're all dead now, and there's no reset button. I probably should have prepared this better. But yeah, so, you can see that the kind of path I'm going along with this is when it's a final game, I want the grapple hook to be a really powerful tool, and I want it to look better than this. But yeah, I mean, other than those things, it's all pretty simple right now. I mean, you can see down at the bottom, I've got, like, the simple inventory done. We've got a pistol and a rifle of some kind. Yeah, with some open source sound effects, just so it would kind of sound nice. And yeah, so it's all pretty simple. I mean, there's not like a ton of gameplay in here yet. There's a few semi-fleshed out features, and it's mostly just engine design. Well, mostly just engine right now, and there are some features I might show you. I've just had some kind of exception. Good. That's what you want. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, it's just kind of pretty basic right now. But I think I do want to, make this something, and obviously a big thing of that will be the art, and I'll get onto that in a second. But I thought I might as well just show you how the open world works. As you can see, there's like these weird janky transitions. Basically, these levels, if I go into developer mode is just allows me to place like blocks and walls actually as well. But yeah, you can see basically this whole thing is just a grid. You can see as I click in these places, it's pretty much just a grid. And you can just and everything like this gets placed by like a grid. Obviously not crates and people, but yeah. And what these bigger things are, these are a higher level grid. So it's basically like a grid of grids, and as you transition from each of these things, it loads in basically the new grid over here. Basically, I don't want to walk into here because I've kind of forgotten how big I made this, and if I walk out, it'll just be a giant crash. Because there's no more data to load. But yeah, you can see this is now loaded in, and and basically 3 other squares have been loaded out from somewhere else. And yeah, and I've also got a walk animation that looks so terrible when I look at it. But hey, you know. Anyway, so yeah, you can kind of see how that works. It's like a grid of grids, and as you transition from one of these big squares to the next, it loads out a bunch more and loads in. That's just how I tackle the memory issue. It's very simple, and I like the idea, you know. But anyway, what was I saying about art? Yes, as you can tell, I am no artist. This is quite intentionally janky, though. I don't actually think that look good. That's just so I can tell where the grids are, the different grid squares are, really. And you know, all of these walls and stuff. Oh, I'm still in development mode. They're just placeholder right now. What the fuck? Ooh, interesting physics glitch. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, they're just all obviously placeholder right now. And the grapple hook looks like crap and stuff. So yeah, I would love it to have, love to work with an artist on this. And the thing to be quite upfront about is, there's not going to be a commission. I'm not going to be able to just straight up pay you, if you did want to work on this. So it would just be like a passion project like it is for me. Just something that's fun and something you want to do. And if I ever did sell it for money when it's finished, long time from now, it's, you know, obviously, you would get a cut if you were working with me. That's how things work. And I'm not sure about any of that, but that shouldn't be an incentive, I don't think. Well, an incentive, but not the main thing. I mean, if you want to, I think it'd be a good way to build experience, and I think more than anything, it would just be fun to build a game, you know, and it would be great. And it would be great to have an artist because, you know, you can see I can sort of do this sort of thing, but, you know, I have trouble with consistency mostly, as you can see. This guy looks sort of okay, but then when you switch to the pistol, the arms look weirdly different. They look out of place, and yeah, so I would obviously need an artist, and it wouldn't be a tiny amount of work, but it wouldn't be loads. I mean, the thing about these sort of games is there's sprite sheets are quite big, because obviously if you think about each weapon, so you have a knife, a katana, and a ninja star. I think you've got to do an animation for each of those. And then each gun, so it could be quite a lot of work, but obviously a lot of them will be quite similar. So if you say, a good idea would be, to get an idea of what this would be, if you have no idea, would be Google Hotline Miami sprite sheet, and you'll take a look at that, and there's a lot of images, but a lot of them are quite similar, so you'll get the idea that it's quite a bit of work, but it probably sounds like more than it really is. But yeah, I just want to be upfront that it's not like drawing like 6 pictures. Yeah, so that would be really good, and yeah, so just basically email me at gamingwithtape@gmail.com, linked in the description. Well, not linked, just it'll be in the description and on the info page of my channel. Yeah, and then I think just you'll need something to send me. I should send you. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking just pretty much maybe an improvement on these two guys, basically. So maybe a guy with rifle, guy with pistol would be a good idea, and maybe them firing. I've already had a couple of emails from some guys, so maybe I have something for you to beat. But yeah, like I'm an improvement on this sort of thing. Maybe them firing as well. Yeah, and then maybe some other things. Maybe like I think a good idea would be this crate. Maybe draw a crate better than that. That would be cool. And I don't know, I mean, it'd go crazy really, but I mean, maybe a ground texture. I'm not exactly sure how I want to implement the ground texture, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just kind of, if you did want to show off some ground drawing skill, just draw a picture of some ground. It doesn't have to be any specific size. Maybe like a tile. And these are 64 by 64, basically, so that's 64 pixels by 64 pixels. That's what each of these grid squares are, and that's what the size of this guy is, pretty much. So that's something to bear in mind. I mean, you can see how terrible my dead guys are. They look like shit. And then, I mean, maybe, I'm not sure how much work this is going to be just for a audition. That sounds awful. But yeah, maybe also I like the idea of maybe just like a simple set of images. Maybe like because obviously there are going to have to be some animations, and obviously you're not going to have to actually animate stuff, just draw the pictures for it. So maybe like a 5-picture set of someone doing like a knife move, like a soldier doing a knife move, and that I could stitch together in the game to be like an animation. I think that might show that that you are infinitely better than me and can really do this, and I think that would be good. So I hope I'm not being too demanding, but yeah, you get the idea. You don't have to do all of these things, but there's some ideas, like maybe you know, pistol and rifle guy, maybe the knife animation, maybe them all together, and then it would be good if you could also maybe draw some ground textures or like a crate or some walls or something like that. But you get the idea. You don't have to draw all of that, maybe a subset, maybe all of it if you're really bored. But yeah, if it sounds like something you want to do for fun. I mean, obviously it's a spare time sort of thing. That's obviously what I'm doing in mine. So just, I mean, it's not like I'm going to be a super demanding boss. And I also won't be a boss, just a guy who is writing some code for a game that you are also writing pictures of. Sorry, I got freaked out when I said the word boss. But anyway, yeah, so if it does sound like fun, email me at gamingwithtape@gmail.com, and I really hope that a few of you will be interested. But yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this sort of thing, because I think doing this sort of thing helps motivate me to do more, because now I'm not just aiming for an end product, I'm aiming for devlog number 2, where it will maybe look better, or there'll be more features, because right now it's very basic, and I just wanted to show you kind of where the start was, really, because I think that's nice to log everything, really. Yeah, so, I mean, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you kind of think that this could, in the end, be a good sort of game, and if you, I can't imagine there be any feedback right now, because it's so simple. But yeah, and it would be also awesome maybe in the future if it does get anywhere, maybe to have some testers, so maybe I could just give y'all free versions of an early game to test. That'd be cool. But that's way in the future when this has become something more than an engine. But anyway, yes, I've rambled for way too long because I feel like I'm trying to cover every base because it's something I've made and and I know it looks like shit right now, so yeah. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you, will like this enough for me to do a future devlog, and I hope if you are an artist who just wants to have some fun, you'll email me. I'll see you next time.